Yeah, and then just, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll call our board meeting to order. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda for tonight's meeting? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
So moved.
There's a motion. Do we have a second? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Agenda's approved. We'll move into our consent items. Any board members have any questions or comments on any of the bills or financials?
Julie, what's that Marzano again, resources?
That's a 3-day, 4-day workshop.
Oh, okay.
For professional development. It's a professional development. Like, you know, we've talked about the high reliability schools framework.
Yeah.
That's all Marzano's work. He's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
solution trading.
Okay.
Marzano.
Got it, thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions on the bills? Julie, would you like to comment on just kind of how we're going along compared to prior years on that spreadsheet?
Well, yes, I would like to. Because we have a little bit of good news, and we finished right on budget as estimated. I think we were actually $550 off
$5 million budget.
of a $5 million budget. So I felt pretty good about that.
We blamed it on Rob.
Yeah, we did. So we were within 1/100th of a percent of being on budget. So I would have, well, anybody in my position would like it to be under budget. I thought that we were going to come in under budget a little bit more, so just given, as I said before, remember the COVID monies that are coming through, and it's sort of a 3-year process with how those monies go and things like that. And so, you know, if you average out those this year and then the last previous 2 years, we're right on budget, and we have been. And so that's great. I'm happy with that, you know, but in my role, we can always do better. So I thought we did a great job.
Thank you. Any other questions on the consent items from board members? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent items? For the motion, do we have a second? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent items are approved. Doesn't look like we have any correspondence this evening. So we'll move into public forum. We had 3 people sign up for that. Looked like they were all like to speak during this portion of the meeting. We ask you to keep your comments to within 3 minutes. So we'll just go in order they're signed up. So Richard Phillips, you were signed up first. Would you like to speak?
He decided he didn't want
Oh, okay. That means you don't want to speak.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, you can put me on last, how's that? And I'll reconsider.
Okay. All right. Okay, Sue Atkinson.
Okay, the information I sent you in my email to the board concerned an approach to education that I've been experiencing and now I'm finding is expanding here. And I wanted to present that for consideration here at Baxter. For the last 16 years, I've been teaching at the University of Maryland, which has a contract with the Department of Defense, has since 1948. And they requested several years ago that we meet international standards because they were concerned about security. They wanted people to have the best thinking skills possible. So we get a lot of military people involved in the program, even though it's open. We spent the last 7 years coordinating concepts between absolutely all the degree programs, regardless of what department they go through. Because as I have stated at past meetings, concepts are like exercises for the brain, just like other physical exercises. And you can apply them in a number of ways, just like you can do other things with your body once you do the exercises to successfully do them. So we now have everything in place starting this fall, and we're coordinating everything as we put our classes together here. Since all of my graduate degrees are from Iowa State, you may have seen some ads they had on TV earlier this summer about the fact that they are doing this now. And this is the latest catalog or ad thing that alumni would get, showing that they are applying this interdisciplinary application of concepts across the curriculum. My undergraduate degrees were from Simpson, so I get this. They are now doing the same. It doesn't say it on the front, but inside they also have an article. I can't tell you how many Iowa colleges are also moving in this direction because I only get the ones that I actually have degrees from here. Each of us has a different set of life experiences and they happen in different contexts. So we may tend to relate to a concept differently. In other words, regardless of the discipline it's in, some concepts may hit us in some disciplines other than that. It doesn't mean we can't figure them out and how they apply to other disciplines. They help unite everything and unite the brain. Baxter has a system they've been working on and putting in place where approaching this can not only help you understand people better, but provide the additional support systems that we're also providing where I teach and that they're putting in place because others are seeing this being done. And it can help you to assist students much better and improve their thinking skills to the extent the Iowa limits on curriculum make it possible at this point in time. But if we ever get up to the national level, you'd be all set to go. As I read the state board minutes, I have so far only seen one Iowa school request approval to do this. I do not remember the name. Sorry, I know Colette asked me. They will be starting this fall. They got approval. I would really like to recommend that Baxter consider doing this because you already have so many things in place and it could help support what you're already trying to do for the students, given the size of the schools and what's already here. And it can help the teachers as well. Did I make my 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. Kristen Libby?
I just have one question. I noticed on the Baxter Community School District YouTube page that the May and June board meetings have not been posted, and I'm curious where they're posted or why they're missing.
I sent them to our tech director, but our tech director is in transfer. Remember right now, our current tech director left to go to another district and we're hiring a new one. So it's in the process. I can follow up with it tomorrow, but
This would have been before school went out, the May meeting.
the May meeting was not going to be broadcast because there was some illegal stuff that happened in it. So what happened was we weren't going to post that. But
I think
was
you
able
should
to-
be on camera while you're answering.
We chose not to do the May one, to post the May one, but I did edit the part that shouldn't have been done publicly. And so it's available. It's just not posted yet. And the June one, we can post it. I didn't realize it wasn't posted. I sent it to our tech person. If he hasn't done it, I'm glad to follow up and have it done, but we're not hiding anything. It's just not posted.
Anything else, Christine?
No, it's a simple question.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move into our business items. First item is Jasper County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan for 2022 through 2027. Michael, would you like to speak on that?
It's pretty basic. So as part of being part of this multi-jurisdictional group, we have to reapprove the plan every few years. And so we met with some people from Iowa City. They came and walked us through it. And so we just had to let them know things that we had in our district that maybe could cause a hazard. Like we don't have railroad tracks, so we didn't have to make a plan for what to do if there was a derailment. But we do have things like grain bins. So if there happened to be a grain bin explosion, what would we do? And so they walked us through all of it, and they have plans of how that would be implemented. They just need our blessing that we support the plan. And so we just need to have you guys approve it, and then I can send it back to them tomorrow saying that our board has signed off on it.
Any board members have any questions on that plan?
Or, yeah, it's vulnerable population where it has our school address. We didn't know if the complex needs to be added to that, you know, get the practices or.
I can
Any other questions?
and Corey, I'll double check with them because they might have it, might not. But
I saw it on there in another spot, but I just. Chance to go in depth on it, but.
Any other discussion on that? We have a motion to approve the Jasper County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan for the 2022 through 2027 year.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution to approve the agreement. The next item is the membership on the board. This is a routine item that we do every year. We basically need to state in our minutes that it's a 5-member board. Who the actual members on the board are. Somebody like to make that motion? Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we're approving the continuation of the 5-member board, which currently consists of John Northrup, Corey Robinson, Colette Kunkel, Ed Meyer, Kim. All in favor of that, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Okay, our next item is the annual review of board policies, 700s through the 1000s. Michael, you want to speak on that?
You bet. So over the next few months, we'll review those, but I wanted you to note on here, I did link the board policies, so you won't have to, I mean, you could still bring your book if you want to, but as part of Stein is taking that part over for us. So I don't want to take credit for Kim's work. She's done a great job. So if you click on the link, it'll take you to just, the first page is just a summary of our board policies. And then if you want to find one, you just, it's Control F. Command F. And And then like, let's say I had a question today, somebody asked about having practice on Sunday. So you could just go there, then when you do the Command F, oh, I don't know how it works on Chromebooks.
It's control.
Control F, okay, sorry. Then I wrote, I just put on the word Sunday. And then it took me to scroll down to the policy that we have for Sundays. And then you can click on like whatever it is, 505.10. And then you click on the link and it'll take you to that policy. So if you have questions about anything, it's just a lot easier to search. And so Kim's working on getting this all up and running for us. And then as soon as we have the, Allers is looking through all of our policies to make sure they're current and up to date. And so when we get the most current up to date ones on there, we'll upload it once a year and make sure we have our current version on there. And so it's just easier. So if you guys or community wants to look through our board policies or anything like that, they'll be able to. We're hoping to have that up and running for August, along with some other website updates.
So when it's on our website, are we gonna have to do that control for?
It'll be
is it gonna
on there. If you want to just look through all of them, you can.
Okay.
They'll just be listed, just like when you clicked on the front page of
Yep.
that. It'll
You can
look
just
like
scroll
that.
through it.
But if you can just scroll through it, but if you wanted to look specifically for a word, leaves of absence or something like that, you could type that in and it would take you to the places where it's on there.
Okay.
And then the other link on there is just a folder where we started to house some of that stuff. And so if you want to look, search, just say by the 900s, you could click on 900s and it's just all on there also. But that other one is pretty handy because it's just a master list of all of them. So we're pretty excited about that.
So we should probably make sure when it's on our website that has
Instructions for
instructions so
searching,
people
yeah.
know how to use that. Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
So
So
You wanna
next,
start
so
reading
the
the-
board needs
yeah.
to look through the 700s through
Through
the
the
thousands for next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions on the board? Okay, our next item is a 28E agreement with GMG for a special ed director.
yeah, so we have decided to enter into a sharing agreement with GMG. They are going to, like I said, Kim is going to be our HR director. And so we'll get some operational sharing dollars for that. And then I've agreed to be their special ed director. So we'll get some operational sharing. So approximately one day a week, I'll go over or help them with some of their special ed things. And then they'll do the same with our HR type things. And so each district, like I sent an email today explaining it. So each district will get an additional 6 students in the count. So we'll get about $42,000. Each side will get $42,000 for each of us being willing to go and do that. So it's just a really good way for the district to bring in additional funds. And a lot of the special ed information that I have for our teachers, I can easily pass on to another district. So I'm happy to do that. We'll see how it goes. We're only committed for 1 year. And if it's a disaster, we won't do it again, but hopefully it'll work just fine.
And they share their special ed director.
Yeah, last year, Kim did that for us. And so we decided it would be just a better fit for me to do it and then for her to do the HR stuff. So, I mean, and she's pretty tech savvy. So like even this board document stuff or board policy manual is, I mean, that in itself is, if she didn't do anything else for us, that's awesome to have that done. So we're just really excited about it. And then with special ed, there's some new stuff that's coming out this coming school year. There's a whole new system for the teachers to document all of their IEP data. And then for parents, they'll be able to have a login to be able to see. The state hasn't given us all the information yet, but we're supposed to be able to log in. And like as mom, I could see my child's IEP progress and their data. So there's a lot of special ed learning that's happening right now, but it's happening all over the state. So it'll be the same here in Baxter as it is in GMG, as it is in Bondurant or wherever. So.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the 28E agreement with GMG for special ed director?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second? All in favor, aye. Those same sign. 28E agreement with GMG for special ed directors. Next item on the agenda is open enrollment.
So we have 2 applications. Julie's got one of them, which is fine. So Jennifer Lemley on behalf of her children, Oliver, 6th grade, and Corbin, 4th grade, from Colfax Bingo to Baxter. I'm going to recommend that we actually deny this one due to both children have IEPs and we are at capacity in our special ed, our in-district special ed kids. So we need to serve the students we have that live in our district right now. So it's, of course, your guys' decision, but I would recommend that we deny. And I talked to Mom when she filled out the papers and brought them in today. I talked to her yesterday about it, and I told her she could still fill them out, but warned her that we would probably be denying them. But she went to fill them out anyway.
Procedure load is.
It's at capacity.
And you said, my screen is being weird. 2 children or just one?
2, a 6th grader and a 4th grader,
Oh, okay.
both with IEPs, and I believe one of them also has a one-on-one with them, or that's what Mom indicated to me, and we're having a really hard time staffing associates as it is. So, and you know, we're required to, and we're happy to serve the needs of the kids that live in Baxter, but we just have it's really tough when we'd love to be able to serve all these kids, but we just don't have the space, we don't have the staff to do it. And then the second one is Angela Winkle on behalf of her daughter, Alana Stover. And Alana is a 12th grader here, but the family just recently moved to Newton. And so this is to come back to Baxter. So I recommend we approve that one. She's already our student and it was just due to a move. So it's just a continuation. She can finish off her career here at Baxter.
Any board discussion? Yes, personally, I tend to agree with what Dr. Clapper says. I mean, we struggle to fill those special ed jobs now. Just serve those people the way they
I'm trying to think. So, I've seen, the numbers for the caseloads and stuff. Is that a guideline or is that like a state law where they cannot go over?
Well, it's not a law, but we have our district special education plan. And in our plan, our district's plan, there's a number that I can't remember what the number is right now, but it specifies in there what our teachers will do. And if they go over that, then they can appeal that they have too many kids and we have to hire somebody. And I think each district writes their own. Maybe when I first came here, we were working on it, so it's probably a couple of years from now.
Any other discussion?
We take those separately.
Right, separately.
Yeah.
Okay, on the first application from the Lemleys,
I'll make that motion.
make a motion to deny
Deny,
that.
yeah.
Based on the serve their needs. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those same sign. Motion's approved to deny that application. Okay, the next one is the Angela Winkle. Her daughter, Alana Stover, 12th grader. I'd like to make a motion.
I'll motion.
approve
To
that.
approve, yeah.
And she continued to attend here. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those same sign. Motion's approved to approve the Angela Winkle open enrollment on behalf of her daughter, Alana Stover, to continue on the Baxter after recently moving to school district. Okay, we'll move into personnel. Looks like we have several resignations. If you want to cover those first. please.
So Zach Hasselbrink is going to resign as high school golf coach. He's just with his new position, a little, it's just too much to coach 3 sports and be a brand new principal. So he's going to resign golf. Richard Postal as a bus driver. He's been with us about a year. And he's going to a different district. And Rich Van Beek is going to retire. So he is going to work through about the end of the month and then retire. And with our blessing, he's put in a lot of years and he's a big loss. But we're really thankful for all the years we've had him. So. And then you want to do resignations first? And then
Yeah,
contracts?
we'll do
Okay.
the resignations first. Any questions on that from board members on the resignations?
Somebody who can replace Richard.
Postal or Van Beek? Van Beek, yes. Postal, no.
Yeah, how are we doing with bus drivers?
Not good.
Not good. I know Deb has a plan. She's talked with a couple of people that they can fill in until we can find somebody, but they're to the point of driving vans to get kids. It's tough. It's tough everywhere. There's just like there's not a lot of teachers. There's not a lot of bus drivers. Not a lot of
You
parents.
mentioned this bus driver went to another district. Was it better pay there or closer, or do you know what the?
Better pay. So we said, I've, kept track of, the districts around us and we're very competitive where we are. So I don't feel that, that was
The deciding
the
factor.
deciding factor. We also actually agreed to pay for his training to get his bus license. We agreed to pay for it over 2 years so that he had to stay. So he actually lost out on $250 because he didn't stay for the second year. I think he's going to be surprised when he goes to this other district. It's considerably larger. I think that he thinks that it might be less work.
What's our full staff for bus drivers here? How many do we have?
We have 3 well, normally we would have 3 normally we would have 4, but we had to change it to 3 last year, and now we're down to 2 now.
Okay.
And everyone else just sort of fills in without bus licenses, so we have to use our vans.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to have like a bus license.
Yeah.
For the passenger endorsement.
But even other people could drive the vans to go pick up kids. So, I mean, as of right now, we're just cobbling it together, but if anybody knows a bus driver.
I saw there was another district fairly close to us, larger, that is actually going to start charging some kids to ride the bus if they were within a certain distance of the school and they didn't want to drive themselves or get themselves, they were going to start charging. Because there's just so many people having, so many districts having.
Right.
Everywhere you go, there's a bus stop on the side of the highway right now. It's everything,
It's definitely a hard time to be in education.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on the resignations? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve the resignations as submitted. The motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resignations are approved as submitted. We'll move into new contracts.
Here note, we have Denny Beal as the new custodian, and he is going to replace Rich. He's actually started with us already. He's been here maybe
This is the
second week. And so he can train with Rich and Pam and Tammy and just learn the job before Rich is gone. So it's been great to have him. And he seems really excited. I think we're doing a great job. So
Any questions from the board? We have a motion to approve the contract for Danny Beal as custodian. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Contracts approved for Danny Beal as custodian. Okay, the next item is facilities, grounds, and transportation.
so
Phone system we need to talk about.
if you click on that link, it'll take you to what I have right here, and it's the quote from Rankin Communications. And originally, when we were talking about with the building project, that the phone was gonna be, gosh, it was close to $100,000 to replace the phone system. It was just crazy, and there's just no way we could have done it. And so we started setting aside money in our Pebble to, over time, get enough money to be able to replace the phones, because the ones we have are out of date, and it's really tough when people try to call, they don't always get through. It's just, they're kind of a mess. So anyway, we were able to get a quote from Rankin, and they came in and did a demonstration to us, and it was fantastic. It meets all of our needs. It's updated technology, and rather than being $100,000, it's $28,392.64. So for those of you out in the audience, it's just under $30,000 instead of $100,000. So it's a great deal. And actually what we pay in phone bills each month, when you add it all up, this is even a better price than that. So we're in a pretty good spot with this. So I definitely recommend that we approve it, because it's definitely needed and the price is.
It would be voice over IP, which
Yeah.
will make our normal billing, because we're not voice over IP right now.
Right.
So we have a normal phone bill, and then we have an internet bill. And this will switch over to the.
Just all
So get rid of
internet,
that
right?
whole phone bill each month. And what is our phone bill typically?
It's about 1,500.
Yeah, so it's worth the money to do this.
I know when we did the building project, they were kind of shocked that we weren't voice over
Yeah.
IP yet.
But at the time, it was so
What
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many problems?
So was that the reason it was so expensive?
There was a bit of a monopoly
Oh,
Yeah.
at the time when
okay.
we first checked into it, and
Okay.
it appears now that we can get around that.
Okay.
I also think that we might be able to use our equipment breakdown insurance on this. I know our phone systems are covered, so it might be a cash out swap out thing. We may not get anything for it, or very little for it, but I'm pretty sure our phone systems are covered on that, so we'll go that route as well.
Okay.
And they originally had said if we get it approved, they could potentially even get still done this summer before school starts. So we're hoping to be able to get right on that, let them know we approved it, and then they can get us on their schedule.
We did business with this Frank for some reason. That
Yeah.
name sounds
Yeah.
The bank had them, and I obviously left the bank and came here, and so then we reached out to them when we put in the new all-call system, and so Rankin maintains that for us now as well.
Yeah.
They're just a small mom and pop shop, and the dad is actually retired now, and the son actually runs it, but they're very good with, they do a lot of local businesses too.
So like if we need to make an announcement or something, this is my company office, we can use these phones to do that, and it'll go through our speakers. It all links together.
Will that help tie the ag building into, I mean, that was kind of the
Yeah.
bugaboo before, wasn't
I
it?
already have the phone or the fire and tornado pre-linked with that.
Yeah, but they just can't hear if there's an all-call
Yeah,
or something
this
like
should-
that.
But they will, man.
Yeah.
They should be able to now. Yeah, that's what we're being promised. Over there, but. Or run there's internet over there.
Yeah.
But voice over IP is just a little bit they'll still use the internet. With our all-call system, we use our phone system for that, and that's not the internet. It's just the system, which is where they can.
Any other questions or discussion from the board? Sounds like within several years, just the savings on the phone bill.
Yeah.
For the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's,
And
it's,
we really cobbled this system together. I mean, we've had this system as long as I've been here.
Oh, I know, yeah.
but when it was $100,000, it was like, well, we'll just make it work.
When they're scavenging the board out of the third floor
Yeah.
before they tore that building
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
If they just use
What
the
is
current
this?
wire cabling.
Which I think when we did the rewiring and that, we made sure that.
Yeah,
it
they
was-
put that like,
Or the Cat 5.
yeah, Cat 5,
Yeah.
so that it
So
would be
it'd be,
ready if we do that.
Which was a great idea because then they saved money doing it while they were already here.
and that we're ready for this.
Yeah, and they said it should just take a day and then maybe a half a day to get us trained.
Any other discussion? Ready to approve it?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the bid from Rankin Communications for a new phone system. Amount of $28,392.64. Do we have a second on that motion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's approved to purchase a new phone system from Rankin Communications. Our summer projects going.
Good. They're seem to be getting a lot of stuff done. They waxed the gym floor or refinished it.
Did they end up doing both?
I think so. And then there's just a lot of clean, like you see chairs are lifted up over there. And next week during Dead Week, they're gonna do some carpet cleaning in like the new wing. And some spot cleaning here and there with the carpet cleaner or the carpet company. We ended up not buying a carpet cleaner. We intend to over time, but just this year, when we didn't have another custodian hire, we just weren't quite sure how it was all gonna work out. So we just are contracting with a carpet company. I know they're doing a ton of work in the garden area, courtyard, and doing some weeding, putting some mulch, took a tree down, remulching a lot of stuff. It seems like we're buying a zillion pounds of mulch, but I mean, it's just a big area. So, I mean, they've been trying to be pretty cost effective of getting mulch on sale and all that, but it's just a lot of space to be mulching. But I mean, they're working together mostly, the custodial team, they all come in at the same time and work together. And then, so just to get things done more efficiently. So, and it's summer, so like, I totally get that. So, it seems to be going well though. And Bill's working on a few different projects. So, yeah, it's going great.
Press box windows are.
I haven't been out to see it, so.
But
Because
sure,
I didn't
didn't
notice
look
it.
at the baseball and softball ones, if they put the.
I don't think those are in yet, but
That's the big.
Because I was out there at the complex, I didn't even think to look up when we were at that 5-on-5 day last week.
I just paid a bill for some glass or something. Baseball, softball. Yeah. This is a bill.
any other questions on grounds facilities? Did they get that hall painted?
No, I don't think so.
Not yet.
That's why, yeah, you will
Paint
follow.
cans in the little.
I wonder if they weren't waiting for us to get those rooms
Oh, done.
waxed and cleaned, because I know they've been working on those rooms. 'cause it was packed. You couldn't even get down.
We will move on to superintendent's report.
Alright, short and sweet, but, so we've been working quite a bit on the plans for a fall PD when we get back. I just sent out the letter today. I'm sure everyone's like stomach sunk with their teacher. Oh, the letter. But it's the schedule of back to school PD. We have on the 15th of August, actually really excited. Solution Tree is sending an expert, it's that same Marzano group, Debbie, that you were talking about.
Okay.
To come talk to us about professional learning communities and just kind of a kickoff. So that's exciting. And then we have the official new teacher day on the 17th. And so it's kind of crazy that we've got a bunch of new teachers, but no rookies. They're all veteran new teachers. They're just new to our district. So it'll be a different kind of training, a lot more just kind of teaching them our ways instead of like, yeah, like how to be a teacher, so that's kind of nice. It's really nice that you can kind of just take off from day one. I mean, there'll be a little bit of learning, but it's nothing like a brand new teacher, which they're great too, but we just don't have it this year. And then we have the full staff back on the 18th. So any of you are welcome if you want to come back and help serve donuts or coffee or
What time?
so the coffee and donuts is like 8 to 8:20 or so on the 18th. So, and then we do the kickoff with, kind of a little rah-rah pep talk, and then we do staff meetings, and then in the afternoon, Chris Pearson, Dr. Pearson from AEA is going to be here to talk to the teaching staff about the new special ed system and the child find and how kids get identified for special education. And that's part of this process of this whole new Achieve system, is that the regional directors are coming out to the schools to talk with the teachers, the gen ed teachers, so they know what to look for and how to help kids get the help they need. And then for back to school night, we've kind of switched it up. We talked with the staff, and they really wanted it to be more of an open house after school got started, because they said they really wanted to be able to actually know the kids a little bit first, and then have the kids have a little bit of ownership in the room. And so they maybe have a couple little projects that they've done or whatever. So instead of it being before school starts, it's going to be August 30th, I believe is the date. It's on the calendar, but I think it's August 30th from 6 to 7:30. And then it was almost impossible to find a night that there wasn't events. It's a Tuesday. I believe we have a home volleyball game that night, but then we just were encouraging people to pop into your teachers, or come visit your teachers, and then stay for our volleyball games. So hopefully it could be a really fun night for families.
When's the first day of school start?
August 23rd. That's first day legally that you can start school.
Okay, thanks.
So we try and start as close to that date as possible. Then we had a field house meeting, and Debbie and Corey, you're welcome to chime in here. We met last week and just kind of gave an update of where we were at, reshared the drawings, and talked about the bid. We got a bid, and it was the original bid from Story Construction was about $4 million, and that just kind of took the wind out of everybody's sails, because we know that we're not at a position right now to be able to like go out and ask for a bond. We're about 7 years out from being able to do that. So we said, if we want this, it's going to have to be grants and fundraisers and just, raising the money ourselves, which we know Baxter can do. They did it at the conference the first time, and they're always super generous. But $4 million was a big ask. So after we did the multi-purpose building, and it came in fairly reasonably, we said, well, I wonder if they could do a field house for us. So we talked to the company that put together the current multi-purpose building, and they gave us a quote, and their quote came in closer to 450,000 or so, and that's including the building and the cement. It wasn't the electrical or the AC, but then we also have people on staff now who can do some of that. And so we said, all in with everything and have it furnished, should probably be somewhere around 700,000, which is still a lot of money, but it's not $4 million. So that seemed a little bit more reasonable. And so we just talked about getting a committee together of people who are interested in helping to just kind of get some feelers out there and see if we can find people who are interested in donating or interested in helping fundraise or look for grants. And so it's a smaller committee. There's about 5 or 6 people. And then Mr. Pierce, our new athletic director, is going to be on it as well. And so later in August, we're going to get going on that. We kind of are giving everybody a chance to get away for vacation. And then we said kind of late August, early September, we get that committee back together and then get the whole committee back together after that committee meets and then kind of shares their findings with the group. And so that's the field house update. Computer science, this is super exciting. So I applied maybe a few months ago for a computer science grant through the state, and I didn't hear, and finally I found out just last week that we got $50,000. So we're super excited about that, and Mr. Pickett is just crazy excited about it. So we have to spend it on all computer science things, but for the new computer science curriculum, and since he's going to be teaching computer science, he's just over the moon excited. So he picked out some drones and some 3D printers and a bunch of curriculum and just all sorts of really cool stuff. And it's for all grade levels. So he's got a group of stuff that's for the elementary kiddos, some for the middle school, some for the high school. So it's just such a blessing. I mean, $50,000 that we don't have to spend out of our general fund or our Hubble funds is amazing. So we're super excited about that. So stay tuned. I just signed a PO today for like $23,000. I was like, oh, holy smokes, I hope the money comes in. That was a big one. So that's pretty cool. I just linked the legislative priorities. Those are the ones for this year. So just take a look at those and then we can talk about it next month. Those are like the same thing we always do every year, that the school board just sets their priorities and then we send those to IASB. This is kind of fun. We have an administrative retreat. So Mr. Luther, Mr. Hasselbrink and I are going to meet with some people, a leader from Grunmeyer Leadership, and they're the ones who actually do the search job, things too. And so we have to fill out some stuff and send it to them, and then they're going to take us through this leadership retreat, and it's later in August. And it just looks at our strengths and like my strengths versus Rob's strengths versus Zach's strengths, and how do we work the best together, and what are areas that I'm not as strong, but maybe Zach excels. So just so that we can be a stronger team. And with Zach being brand new, we just think it's a perfect time to do some of this. So we're excited about that. I met with the new chief of police today. He was fantastic. He's coming to us from Van Meter. I'm not exactly sure what his official start date is, but great guy. He has a sharing agreement with between Van Meter and the school, Van Meter schools, and their community, their police department. And so he's very interested in setting up something like that for us. And I was very open to the idea of it. And so he can sit in on some of our, our at-risk meetings or some of the administrative for brainstorming. And just, he really wants to be involved with our school and with our kids and with our district. And so we're really excited. So I thought he'd probably just pop in. It was close to 2 hours that we visited and we toured the school. And so we're really excited to have him come to us. On a less exciting note, the update to the school meal prices for adults has to go up. You're required to be at the minimum, like the federal minimum, the state minimum. I can't remember which it was. And Taze was telling me, and the actual minimum was like $4.11 and some change, like $4.11.92, whatever. And so we just rounded it to $4.15 so that you don't deal with a bunch of pennies at lunchtime. And then over the next couple of years, hopefully we won't have to raise it. But you have to be at least the minimum. You can go as high as you want. You can charge $5 or $6, and Taze's food's probably worth it. So, but in the meantime, we'll just keep it at $4.15. But you can't be below it. It's just adults, not kids. So kids are back to having to pay unless they're free or reduced. But the regular, just if you're just a paid kid, I think we approved those last month. Yeah, and I can't remember what the fee is, but we approved it already. So you can look back on that.
We didn't make any changes.
Okay, no changes. Whatever it was a couple years ago is what it is now. And then just the last thing, there's been kind of working on wrapping up some evaluations and job clarifications, as we transition to some new staff members, just trying to clarify roles because, before we had one person that was doing 2 or 3 jobs now, and now we've got different people doing different roles. So we're really working hard to get that clarified. And I know that's one thing we talked about is trying to get more systems in place in our district. So that's one that I've been working on over the summer is the evaluation system and then clarifying job roles. So we had a great meeting with our director of, well, I'm just Bill and Pam and then Scott. And so we talked about like out of the complex, who's the point person for the complex and who's the point person for different things here in the school. And so it was really a super helpful conversation we had, and some of the custodians sat in with us, and so they could ask questions and we could clarify things. And so it's going to be really helpful just moving forward to get everything spelled out. Because before it was kind of, for a long time, it was just one person doing all of it. And now that there's different people doing different aspects of the job, it just made it a little tricky, a little confusing for people. And nobody was intentionally asking the wrong person. They just didn't know. So we're just trying to clarify that for everybody. So otherwise, trying to think of anything else I forgot to tell you. That's about it. Summer's almost over. It's like shocking. Yeah, so we're leaving. I'll be gone, leaving Friday, and I won't be here all next week. And a lot of people will be gone next week just because it's dead week. So I know a lot of families are also going on vacation. There's no sports, no weightlifting. There's like kids aren't allowed to interact with their coaches next week. Oh, and a big shout out to Nate McMiniman. He has the Shrine Bowl this Saturday. So we're really proud of Nate for his hard work. So that's kind of his final hurrah. And then as soon as you get back, August 1st, football, volleyball, cross country, it's officially on. So I know our teams have been practicing a lot over the summer. I see the cross country kids are running all over the place. And I know football's here because I wake my kid up every morning at 6 a.m. to come to practice. And I'm sure volleyball is, I just don't get down to the gym very often. So otherwise, that's about it. It's exciting time. Like summer's a good time to recharge, and then August will be here and we'll all be ready to roll again. So that's exciting. What I got for you, John?
Anybody have any questions for Michael? Looks like we're down to the adjournment. So we have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Favor aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.